Welcome to the Been There Doing That podcast. I'm Robert Scrivener.
And I'm Gayla Scrivener.
We left the 9-to-5 grind, downsized, and our goal is to have freedom to live and to work from just about anywhere. Welcome, everybody. I think my wife is trying to kill me this weekend.
Oh, surely not. I'm just working you to death, huh?
Yeah. I'm down in the back.
Thanksgiving just happened.
Just happened.
We had a 4-day weekend.
Yes. It's been on the schedule for how long?
About 6 months. 6 months I've put on the schedule for this holiday Thanksgiving weekend that we were going to do some really deep cleaning of our storage shed.
Yes. Very deep.
And it's been on the calendar, and the weather cooperated.
Sometimes I think it did a little too much.
I know.
I'd rather have a break.
I know. Goodness, how many years ago was it that we got this storage building? It's a little barn with a loft. It's how big?
10 by 16, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a 12 by 16, but I think it's 10 by 16. I haven't really measured it. But it is nice and long.
Did we get it in like 2011?
10 or 11, somewhere around there, so 7 years-ish, 6, 7 years. It is got 2 lofts in it.
Double door, it's wood.
It's got to be 10 foot, yes.
Yeah.
10 by 16. Double door, barn style, double loft. You could live in it.
Yeah, we've thought about it. There's no windows in it right now.
Put windows in it. And,
we bought that outright when we downsized, and we wanted to sell everything, but there were some family furniture. There's a lot of some knickknacks. Your tools. You have a big toolbox that we just don't want to get rid of because it comes in handy to have that and need the garage. And if you sold it and tried to replace it, you would never get any.
No.
You'd never get what you needed out of it. And we have a lot of photos.
Memories are heavy
of my daughter growing up and some of her keepsakes and everything like that. Well, since 2011, I guess, is when we bought that and moved it to family property. It's out in the country, nice area, and when we just go into it, we just kind of dump things in it and then leave.
Yeah, we didn't spend any time organizing when we was there.
We've got a lot of boxes that are labeled.
Let's just put it in here and we'll worry about it later.
Yes. And I think that happens with anybody. I think the bigger the space, you're going to fill it. I mean, and...
We have cleaned it out once before.
We have. Not the lofts.
Not the lofts and not to this extent.
And it was important to me to start getting rid of some stuff because we haven't looked at some of this stuff for years. But it's always easier to just not deal with it and just shove it behind closed doors and not deal with it than to actually make a decision of get rid of it, sell it, throw it away, So this was our deciding weekend.
It was your deciding weekend. I just happened to be here with you.
Yes. I was prompting you for 6 months. I said, we're putting this on the calendar for Thanksgiving. We have 4 days. We're going to do it.
Praying for some weather change.
You were praying for snow.
Oh, it didn't happen.
But we've had spring-like weather
70 degrees in November around Thanksgiving.
We've got a mess.
We do. we have a mess.
We took everything out, and really it was needed because you needed to lift
Had to
the
lift
shed.
had to lift the building up to level it out. One
'Cause
end was setting in the dirt, and the rest three were on wood planks. I'd say.
the ground had settled, and when the storage shed was delivered, they kind of put it on some wood, but it really needed to be on a little brick foundation, and it wasn't done.
Concrete blocks.
Concrete blocks.
Not so much foundation, but concrete blocks.
Yeah. So that was a
chore.
chore.
That's probably what broke my back.
I don't think so. You were complaining before that.
You cracking the whip was what broke my back.
So it all started Thanksgiving morning. You didn't get your traditional
Turkey
dinner. We went out over there and started just taking everything out and scraped down mud dauber nests and things like that, and swept and just had everything out in the yard. And then you started jacking it up.
Yeah.
And that jacked up your back.
That jacked up. Oh, as my dad says, I'm no spring chicken no more.
No.
So it's got to take it easy when you get older. So
Well, you're not that old. We've got to show. We've got to make sure to stay spry.
I got to keep up with you. So we're going to. What did we do? We jacked it up. Used 2 jacks to jack it up, and then stuffed some concrete blocks under it.
You used your high lift.
High lift jack for Jeep and off-road stuff. And then we had a little floor jack got
To
under
assist.
there to assist. And boy, did it help.
And it looks a lot better, and I feel better about that. Cause
It does look better and is off the ground, not touching the ground. And dirt's not touching it, moisture and stuff. So.
yeah, we could start to see a little bit of moisture coming in on one corner, and we want to save the life of that because maybe we'll live in it someday.
Be our tiny house.
It could be our tiny house. But we still have some work to do. We're selling things on Craigslist or eBay. There's just some collectibles and music stuff and
just a whole bunch of
knickknacks.
Assortment of stuff.
You know, I think that we should put some of that on our Facebook page, and they have a marketplace on Facebook.
Somebody might want it.
Exactly. The heavy stuff we're not going to ship.
No, that's
you come visit us.
Local pickup only.
Exactly. But we not only were doing all of this stuff.
Yeah, there's something else that we did.
We had a little bit of a catastrophe. Little bit. The poo tank.
Oh.
Just a little bit.
I took therapy and got over that, but you brought it back up.
I know.
Tell them about it, Gayla.
What is that little gray thing? It's a Blue Boy, isn't it?
And some people call it a Blue Boy.
That's
yes.
a name brand.
It's a black tank or a gray tank tote. When you don't want to move your vehicle to go empty your tanks, you hook it up to that, drain it into that, pull that little tote over to the drain.
Well, that's what we have to do to empty our gray and black water tanks in our RV. And if you don't live in an RV, you don't really, I think you take advantage of wastewater because it just goes wherever. Yep. When you live in an RV, you have to think about that and how full are the tanks and everything. And cold weather is not great on the, what are those things called? The tubes.
The perfect example. Tubes, yeah.
That's
some
what
people call hoses.
Oh, thank you.
Sewer hoses is not.
The sewer hoses.
Yeah.
They're plastic, and some of them are heavy-duty plastic with wire.
Yeah.
It's spun around like a big old spring. It's like a big slinky.
There you go.
With plastic wrapped around it. And you do want that plastic to be heavy-duty because what's flowing through there.
You don't want it on you.
But we have discovered long ago on our first winter in Colorado how stiff those things get
in the cold.
in the cold, and the challenge it
Plastic
is.
and cold weather does not get along.
And the valves on the RV get stuck sometimes and frozen. And
Had a hair dryer incident one time trying to thaw one out.
yep. Although the weather for this Thanksgiving weekend was nice.
70 degrees, did we mention that?
Wonderful.
For Thanksgiving.
Although,
In Missouri.
in Missouri.
Not in South.
Although it's nice over this weekend, the temperature has been
20s
cold.
to 70s, somewhere in there.
cold and warm. And so our little blue boy, little tote, just got worn out after how many years? We've had it for a long, long time.
6 years, I guess it was.
And I don't think
Right around 6 years.
I don't think that it was designed for as much use as we do.
If we're totally full, that's 100 gallons of gray water and 50 gallons of black water, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's 150 gallons. It holds
Our tote holds how much?
27 gallons if you fill it all the way full.
Mm-hmm.
27 gallons to move yourself across rough ground is pretty rough.
It is.
So
And
usually about 25 gallons is all I get in there and have to use both hands to pull it across. And we drag it about, I'd say about 100 feet.
yeah, because
So
that's
not
where
far.
the receptacle is. But the hose that's connected to that blue boy that we have, which is gray,
Yeah, which is gray.
but that holding tank, it has hoses attached, and we've used it now for 6 winters, and the winters are what's really hard on it because you have to pull
Yes.
out the hose, and we've had to do some duct tape repair, or actually Gorilla Tape is better.
Gorilla tape, electrical tape, anything tape to keep it held together.
And well, this weekend it gave its 2 weeks notice immediately.
Yes, before we even hooked it up.
And we're like, oh, we're in a tight spot. We're kind of full.
Tanks are full.
Tanks are full, and we did not have enough hose to go across 100 feet.
No.
Otherwise,
We tried,
Yeah.
but we just couldn't do it.
Oh. I'm glad we did not videotape that, but it really should. But we did drain about 20 gallons to get us by. And we went on to Amazon and bought a replacement.
Yes.
That's going to be delivered. And we're just
Next week.
holding it.
Just holding it until it gets here.
No, actually we're traveling, so we'll be back and forth and not using it as much, but we'll probably have to do that little song and dance. But we won't go into any details. We'll probably have to do a podcast sometime just about poo tank stuff.
We've got enough experience with that.
And I think people just take it for granted where that stuff goes.
Out of sight, out of mind. It's
Mhm.
kind of like storage shed.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. But another big job.
Huge job.
You have been asking friends and family for the past several weeks for deer hide.
Deer hides, yeah.
And so,
I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, that's been another big job.
oh, I don't know what you have in mind, but
I'll let you know.
so you've been collecting some deer hide,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been stringing it up to dry it and getting it processed so that you can have leather, which is a whole new experience that I didn't realize I didn't know I signed on the dotted line for that.
Well, I didn't know I signed on to break my back this weekend either, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Hey, I redeemed myself last night by making
She made this fabulous fried chicken.
Like fried chicken you've never had before.
Or
at least that I've cooked.
It was good. Fried chicken and taters. You had me. That's the best one you ever made.
That's how I keep you and
That's how
keep
you
you
reel
working.
me in and suck me in there.
But tell them a little bit what you've been doing with the deer hide.
Well, kind of traded services for some leather for a purse, or got deer hides in for a purse that I built for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was just going to get one hide. I ended up getting 3. And it's just kind of interesting how the process goes. Now, I haven't done this ever to this extent. Getting the hair off of it and everything. I'm at that step right now. So getting all the meat off of it, fleshing it, and it's just interesting. Salt is your friend. Keep the bacteria from growing on there while it sets out.
Tell them what you've used to string up our first hide.
Oh, no problem. I can do that. Stringing up our first hide. That was the roof rack basket off our Jeep. It's about the right size. And it's got plenty of anchor points on it. So some paracord and a roof rack basket off a Jeep works pretty good for stringing up a deer hide.
Just the salt is probably bad on it.
The salt is not the best friend.
But I certainly didn't want to get involved, but apparently I needed to speed you up because 2 people, it gets the job done faster.
That's correct.
So
same way as washing the RV, which we did this weekend.
That was another huge job.
Yes.
It was kind of green. I thought we had a white RV, but it was
kind of dingy.
And we needed to take care of that because getting it all moldy and nasty.
Yeah. Just getting all the stuff from the trees that fall down, pollen, all that stuff, getting it off of there. And bleach was our friend on that one.
And the warmest day was Friday after Thanksgiving, and it happened to be the windiest day.
Yes, but we got it done.
And you got up on the roof and scrub, bleach.
Yes, and it didn't freeze for several days after, so it's nice to let it dry like that instead of getting in the cracks and freezing and busting stuff. So.
And we have a window air conditioning unit that we put in during the summer just to kind of help out the house air conditioner. And actually, we find it works better. And we took that out and took it over to find a place in our storage building for the winter.
Out of sight, out of mind.
And that was a job. So you and I have done a lot, and today
we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. We have a little bit more work, and you are looking forward to doing some welding inspecting.
I'm ready to go back to work to get away from this work for a while.
You just want to get away from me.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, we have been doing a lot of manual labor. I guess this would be training for our next trip, you think?
Possibly. Hopefully we're not working this hard on our next trip.
Hopefully not.
This is back-breaking labor that you're doing.
Poor Robert.
Yes.
Poor Robert.
Go ahead and explain.
He walks like an old man. I think I need to get him one of those scooters.
Like they got at Walmart?
Yes. And you're kind of hunched over, and you're younger than I am. I married younger so that you can keep up with me.
You worked it out of me.
Of course.
Should have been doing prepping those 6 months to be ready for this weekend.
Well, now that you know, I broke you in 12 years.
Yeah.
We've known each other 12 years, and I don't think I've ever worked you this hard.
No, you have not.
So, well, guys, working around home and living in an RV, that it takes work,
It's
and
a challenge.
we delayed it way too often way too long because we like to run around and see things. And what happens is that things just get cluttered, and I throw my hands up, and it's like, we got to do something.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I know. So let's wrap this up because I gotta get another day's worth of work out of you.
Spit it out.
I can't help it.
Where can they find us at, Gayla?
They can find us at beentheredoingthat.com. You can always email us at podcast@beentheredoingthat.com.
Love to hear any answers of questions or anything else you want to say.
Yeah, what do you want to hear? Because
we could probably do it.
We could probably do it. I don't know. And I'd love for you guys to follow us on Instagram. Robert would approve you.
Yeah, I would. I approve most people there.
Unless they look weird. If you look weird,
yeah,
then no. But if you're fairly normal, but as weird as we are, then
you probably get
approved.
Get approved.
And the Instagram, you can search by Been There Doing That.
That is correct.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Catch you later.